hours, but not too much, you know. We got them, we need things freshen up. So tonight we are engaged in a very interesting conversation. My lady Kim's in studio. Our guest, Craig Walls, Bentley Mutual Insurance. We're going to, I consider this an update with Bentley Mutual Insurance because we've had Bentley Mutual Insurance on several times.
Yes.
And I was sharing with Brother Craig Walls that, you know, when I think in terms of the fight, I call it the fight.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, we must be, let me just say, disciplined in the fight, but also persistent in the fight for rights.
That's right.
Right? So when you think in terms of the insurance cartel and versus the human tragedy, and what is the human tragedy? I mean, look, people, when we think in terms of, and I have to quote part of it, because part of it, I think Ralph Commission in an article he did places it. He said, outside of the private insurers who have now merged, BF&M and Argus, the biggest opponents to universal health care are the doctors who run their private clinics. That's Commission. Now, in a discussion with him, I said, man, you know, Bermuda insurance operates like cartel, man. An insurance cartel occurs when independent insurers agree to act together rather than compete. This typically involves price fixing or market allocation to maintain high profit margins. Now, let me qualify and say this. Now, and I must read it. Because I want to make sure, based on available information, because Argus and BF&M merged. There's now All Shores Limited, yeah?
Yes.
Now, often referred to as All Shores, right? Formerly BF&M and Argus. And listen, it is not classified as an illegal insurance cartel, but rather a major licensed insurance company that merged to become one of the largest providers in Bermuda and the Caribbean. Now, of course, you know we've been discussing endlessly on this show, and I like to make all the connections to, you know, the geopolitics of the day, and we've been focusing a lot of what's happening in the Caribbean, Central America, U.S., globally. But All Shores is all on the shores of the Caribbean. Yeah? They are what we would say a monolithic conglomerate eating up the insurance business across the Caribbean. They got a monopoly.
Near monopoly.
A near monopoly. Yes, they have a near monopoly. And so when we think of All Shores and we think of the insurance alliances, those are the smaller ones. The smaller ones, people. You know, the Caesars Pharmacy, the Lindos, the Peoples, you know, My Pharmacy,
Pure Competition,
Robertson's, North Shore, Pure Company. Yeah. So we're going to have some conversation about this here, right? We're going to place it in the context of the grander scheme of things. But I also want to press Craig Walls, Bentley Mutual Insurance, because by a friendly society, I mean, you pay dividends.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
You pay dividends.
Yes.
When your losses are benign.
Yes.
Yeah? You use your resources to support multiple businesses with equipment and cash flow.
Yes.
Construction companies, rest homes, repair shops, fishermen, and individuals. Yeah?
Yes, we do.
Your financial assistance creates employment in the broader community of Bermuda. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Your reserves benefit the community.
Yes.
You help your insured to repair their homes. Bentley Mutual Insurance does this, yeah. You intensively fight for your constitutional rights, freedom to assemble and freedom to contract, yeah. We had earlier communication, and I asked some essential questions. All of this is set the context, and we'll elaborate. I asked, was permission from the governor or minister legally required for Bentley to issue valid motor insurance policy? No. And you can elaborate later on that, yeah? Can regulatory or executive actions override constitutionality, protecting economic freedoms? No. You can elaborate on that. 3, is denying Bentley the ability to operate a breach of fundamental human rights? Yes. You can elaborate on that. And the 4th one, were Bentley's rights under the Bermuda Constitution Order of 1968, particularly freedom of association and contract, unlawfully infringed? Yes. Bentley Mutual Insurance has a case. Yeah?
Yes.
Bentley Mutual Insurance, I would say, and we're going to get into some of the other things, because when I say some of the other things, making the connection of all shores insurance to healthcare, which is a major issue. But I want to focus on Bentley first as we segue or make the connection to the grander scheme of things. I'll go as far as this and say Bentley Mutual Insurance, from my homework, my conversations with you, others, really, Bentley is being denied really a greater possibility of expansion. Why not a Bentley having the same possibilities as we've talked about in XL? Yeah? Craig Walls.
Good evening. Bentley does have a lot of possibilities, meaning that Bermuda's a country of laws, not of men. So Brother Lou's introduction was permission from the governor or the minister legally required for Bentley to issue valid motor insurance policies. So the answer is no. Our right to conduct insurance operations is contained in the Friendly Society Act, 1868. And the Motor Car Insurance Act, Third Party Risk, 1943, is a coverage act, not an authorization act. So there's benefits to insurance, meaning that insurance is intended to help people get back to where they were in the event of an accidental loss that results in financial loss. So people that don't have that ability can literally become bankrupt. So insurance has very useful purposes. Insurance spreads risk across many people. It protects individuals from financial shocks. So some of the benefits of insurance are, access to health care, financial stability, and encouraging long-term planning. Modern insurance started with marine coverage, health insurance, life, property, etc. Because those are very large blocks of coverage, you can estimate what your losses are going to be. So that's one of the key things with regard to insurance. If you're able to estimate what your losses are going to be, you can price that coverage.
Right.
So one of the insurers of last resort is Lloyd's. So Lloyd's does things that don't have large blocks of things. Like, say, for example, the space shuttle that's supposed to go up today, that would be Lloyd's coverage, because space shuttles don't go up every day. So the concept of underwriting came from Lloyd's, meaning that they would say to a group of insurers, look, we're going to insure the space shuttle. How much coverage would you guys like to extend based on the capital that you have? So each person would write down how much insurance they would like to extend to cover that. If there's no coverage for insurance, corporations, individuals are less likely to take risk, if you will, or chances of losing their assets. People only engage in activities if there's going to be coverage for them. So right now, think of the Strait of Hormuz, where these ships no longer have any coverage. They're not going to take a risk of going through that waterway if they don't have insurance coverage. So insurance becomes very important in regard to issues of that nature. So Bermuda's been beneficial in that we created an insurance regime that relies on liquidity, not all of these rules with regard to the government setting pricing, reserves, investments. So everyone in Bermuda is referred to as a sophisticated insurance operator, meaning that the insurance company itself, the operators have to be very knowledgeable of what they're doing. And because it's worked so long, it's reliable. The other thing that the Bermuda market tried to avoid because of the size of our population was a bureaucratic insurance regime, meaning that a regime that required a lot of people. So one of the primary things that under John Swan and Shelton Burgess, they were two people that were instrumental in creating what's called a liquidity regime. So insurers in Bermuda have to demonstrate that they have sufficient cash in order to pay their reserves. So whether you're excessively regulated or not, that is really the underlying concept for insurance. If you can pay your reserves, you can demonstrate that you can pay your reserves, you're good to go. So insurance companies, that's what they aspire to do. So the key with Bentley is we simply copy success. We discovered the legislation that we operate under, but we also asked probing questions, meaning that why doesn't Bermuda have mutual insurers like us? And we had to go on a search to find out why, and then we discovered the legislation that supports what we do. And because I have a background in accounting, in finance and insurance and in regulation, I was able to utilize all of those experiences to make this company a reality.
Just as you expand, just on your thought on that there about the mutual, because XL and Ace,
yes,
started as mutuals.
That's
correct.
That's
their history.
So with Ace and XL, what happened, and Bermuda's uniquely situated to help them. In the 80s, the Americans had what's called a liability insurance problem. So insurance companies would not grant them liability insurance for their product risk. So if you study history again, there was a car called a Pinto.
Yeah, I remember that car.
The car got hit from behind.
Too. Yeah.
The
Exploded,
gas
right?
tank would crush and spray gasoline into the passenger compartment, and the car would catch on fire. So they couldn't get insurance for that. So that's just one example of a product liability, but things like Boeing with its airplanes, any product that you can think of, they have to have product liability coverage. So because those companies couldn't get coverage, what someone said, and this is why you have to have ingenuity, creativity, capitalism, and capital is, they said, why don't we have those companies finance a company that would provide liability insurance to them? And the idea and the creativity was sold to them, and they capitalized the first company called ACE. So ACE received funding from them. They knew what their risk was, and they were able to price their risk accordingly. So the Bermuda market is, ACE is really at the top, meaning that the very worst claims are the ones that hit ACE. So what the Bermuda market is referred to as is a catastrophic market, not a frequency market. So when you get hit big like a Boeing, that comes to Bermuda. When you have a single vehicle accident, that stays in the U.S. So another example would be 9/11. When those towers got hit, that came to Bermuda. Anything big comes to Bermuda. These companies are taking a piece of that. So because ACE was operating at the top, another company called Axel, they came in at a lower layer because success follows success. So when they see that an idea became successful, now you can replicate that. So they financed another company that would provide insurance at the lower layers, right? So that gave companies even greater comfort. So the Bermuda market, because it is an unbureaucratic market, has been very successful. What we are trying to advocate for is Bermuda ownership and Bermuda expertise. So let's take the expertise that we've learned and use it in our own market to help our people. So earlier, Brother Lou said that we pay dividends and we do help our people.
Right.
We're able to do that because we control our money. When our members contribute premium for their coverage, we control that. When our losses are benign, we can look at our cash reserves and decide how we're going to help people in our community. That was our original idea. So we've been fortunate enough to say we can help a fisherman to get an engine for his boat or get the entire boat. We've been able to help our members to repair their homes. We've been able to help people with medical fees and education costs because we control our own money. But the way it works is because we're working together collectively, which is protected under Section 10 of the Bermuda Constitution Order, 1968, people that contribute, they also become members. So they also become beneficiaries. So we're not a free-for-all, meaning we can't just throw money around, but we are able to say this is what we need to cover our reserves, this is what our accesses look like, and this is what we can also do.
So let me just say, in that scenario that you just gave, your membership are buying into Bentley Mutual then?
Absolutely. We provide primarily right now property coverage. We originally were established to provide auto insurance because nobody walks in Bermuda. Everyone has a car. The Motor Car Insurance Act 1943 requires that everyone have auto insurance in order to operate a motor vehicle. So we researched that and saw that we were capable of doing it. We did it from November 2013 until April 2014. We were having phenomenal growth, and there was some interference by the more established insurers through their legal counsel and through the Attorney General, where they interfered with our right to freely associate.
Established insurers.
Yes.
I'm just going to bring up BF&M. I can bring up BF&M
Yes,
as someone
you
who does insurance at BF&M.
Yes.
My business, you know,
Yes.
taxi business
Yes.
is insured at BF&M. My father used to, well, I can't say he swore by BF&M. For his business, he did.
Fine.
For his private vehicle, I'm going to say I remember him insuring his vehicle with Listers, who had insurance business.
Listers were an agency. I don't know if they still exist, but they were writing on
This is way
Brook
back.
and Meyer paper.
Yeah, this is way back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just going off of memory what I remember
Sure.
having to go to. This is from Cuthbert Simmons for his vehicle.
Okay.
All right, motor
Yes.
car vehicle.
Yes.
So, as you were describing that, giving an account of that, I'm saying, okay, and I am making connections to Old Shores. Here's this merger:
Yes.
Argus, BF&M, and BF&M been through some struggles,
Yes, they did.
right?
Yes.
Argus was their salvation. It's all documented evidence for me. I mean, that was all in the papers. I'm not saying anything.
No, you're not. Technically, in 1998, let's put it this way,
was all
their
news.
auditors would not give them an unqualified audit opinion. So the Bermuda government allowed them to create a new company. So the original company was Bermuda Fire Marine Insurance Company Limited. So the new company became BF&M.
Yeah.
One of the issues with it is that insurance is very important to a community. So the government made a decision that they're not going to let them fail. So they allowed them to pierce the corporate veil, create a new company, take the assets out of the company that was impaired, put it in the new company, and continue to operate. Again, all of this is documented.
Yeah.
If you go on the internet, you can literally find their qualified audit opinion. So for people that know what that is, that means their auditor disputed the fact that they had sufficient liquid assets to pay their liabilities. So that has consequences. They were not subject to those consequences. So what happened with us again was that our right to insure motor vehicles was taken away from us, and we were plunged into litigation. The litigation's been interesting because the Bermuda government is not allowed to violate our constitutional rights without consequences, meaning that really what the government should be doing is helping us to embrace our constitutional rights, meaning that the freedom to associate, the freedom to contract, the freedom to demonstrate, the freedom just to demand your rights. That demonstrates a healthy democracy. So even with this radio station, our right to be able to broadcast and share this information with you is important. No one is telling us what to say. We're trying to do our research to make sure that our listeners are well informed. So Brother Lou was referring to BF&M and Argus. That is what we call private capital. So they can do whatever they want with their money. So what they saw was, look, we can develop synergies and efficiencies if we merge as opposed to competing against each other. And we would also have more capital. So theoretically, in the insurance business, you can take on more risk. Now, when you're bigger as well, you're also badder. You got more clout. So we've recently had a demonstration of All Shores clout, where they said that we want to have our insureds acquire their medication from one provider.
Phoenix.
Right. So what happens with that is monopolies, they're not trying to be innovative. They're not trying to be competitive. They're trying to protect turf because they're trying to maximize their profits.
You use the term. Pronounce it for me again.
oligopolistic. So an oligopoly is when there's a few players. So the banks qualify as oligopolies. Now, what they do is price fix as well, meaning that they don't compete against each other outright. Now, the pharmacies, Brother Lou mentioned them by name: Caesar, North Shore, Lindos,
Peoples.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be pure competition. They're trying to be innovative. They're trying to be profitable. They're trying to attract more people. They have to be focused on customer service. All of that is good. When you have an all shores, they don't have to focus on things like that because they're taking away choice. They have muscle, right? So they don't have to be innovative. When Bentley started, our innovation was being online. We didn't have a physical presence because the internet gave us the ability to embrace technology. So now CG is heavily online, but we were really the first to do it, meaning that you could go on, apply for insurance from us, send us your details. We would take that information and produce a policy. But it kind of short-circuited us, and we didn't become completely automated, but we were on our way. So that's why you have to have competition, because human beings are creative, and we want to keep that creativity. So that extends not just to individuals, but companies and countries. So Bermuda is also innovative, meaning that Bermuda said, look, we can get these insurers to come to Bermuda if we don't overly regulate them. So contrast Bermuda's insurance regulatory regime to the U.S. The U.S. sets prices. They tell insurers how much they have to reserve, what they can invest in, their policy form. They have to get permission to raise prices, all of that. None of that exists in Bermuda. So the insurers that came to Bermuda, that regime that didn't have those handcuffs was attracted to them.
Right.
So they're able to provide the coverage in a hurry that people need when they say they need it. So when you hear about cyber risk, or you hear about ships that can't get insured, Bermuda can come to their rescue because the Bermuda government doesn't have a bureaucratic insurance regime that's getting in their way. Our regime says, you guys can do whatever you need to do that's in your best interest and in the interest of your insureds, as long as you have sufficient cash to pay your reserves.
Right. You said something. This is about being competitive. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And clarify this for us on this one here. I mean, you make also Bentley's aim is to work together collectively for mutual benefit, not for profit.
That's correct.
Now, competitiveness in capitalism is about profit, isn't it?
Yes, it is, meaning that capital is always going to seek the best returns that it can find.
Right.
So what the Bermuda legislature allowed was mutual insurance, meaning that an insurance regime that is not seeking pure profit. And that's what we do. So what we're able to do is say to an insured, your insurance is $3,000 a year if your property insurance, and if our claims are benign, we don't have any financial reason to raise your premium. And as a kicker, we'll pay a 5% dividend, which represents your interest in our organization, meaning because we haven't had any losses, we can actually give our insured some money back. And that incentivizes them and us to keep growing the business. So we're not growing for the sake of profit, like a lot of companies are, because Their sole purpose is for the benefit of their shareholders, not their policyholders. So a mutual insurer works for the benefit of its policyholders, meaning our primary concern is having sufficient funds to cover our policyholders. Because our policyholders are also our shareholders, it's mutually beneficial. So the benefit of an organization like ours is we can help our community, meaning that there is what's called systemic harm when you have private organizations or systematic rules and regulations that inhibit people from helping their own community. What we're trying to say is we own these homes, we own these cars. We should be able to insure our own vehicles. Our people should not be compelled to have to go to BF&M, Argus, CG, whoever, and buy insurance by mandate. That is not freedom, that's not democracy. So with our arrival, we were able to give people that choice. Earlier, you were saying that your father was with BF&M, but he was also with the listers.
Yeah.
That gives you freedom of choice. So what happens with a monopoly, the purest monopoly in Bermuda is Belco.
Yeah.
So you don't have any choice. There's nowhere down the street where you can say, I'm going to go get my electricity.
Or the company formerly known as Belco.
Yes. Okay. So that's a pure monopoly. Now, pure monopolies have some government regulation.
Right.
And they have to, otherwise they will seek to maximize profit. Their accountants can help them with maximizing profits if they're clever. But there is a lot of scrutiny. So with a competitive market, you get innovation. So all of the innovation that we have is because there is freedom of, there's education, there's technology, and there is government regimes that allow competition. So that's why education becomes important, because now our kids can read, they can make choices. So our kids with their Chromebooks, with access to the internet, they are becoming creative, but what we don't want to do is stifle their creativity by saying that you don't have freedom to go and operate in this market or that market or that market. That stifles creativity, and the people that suffer are the consumer. So we live in what's called a consumer market. Like if we looked around this room, Brother Lou, or if we went outside, you'll see that no one's wearing the same pair of shoes.
Right.
So consumers like to have choice, even though right now me and Brother Lou, we're both got on all black because it's easy.
And it's beautiful to me.
Yeah,
so,
we're got on all black, right?
all the time.
So that's a choice. But like Ford Motor Company, when it first started, he made it easy on himself.
Yeah.
All his cars were black.
Right.
And he dominated the market, and people had to buy his cars. So where did his competition come from? His competition came from a car company that said, we're going to give you a car that can be white, red, blue, green, whatever color you want.
Choices.
And Ford started to lose business by having choices. And that's where General Motors
By
came
not
from.
having the choices. Yeah.
So the government has to be careful to make sure that people have choices.
Right.
But why educate people if we're not going to allow them to utilize the education that we're spending all this money on giving to them?
Yes, so important. I see you callers. Just be patient. We go to the top of the hour. We'll bring you in. But, we want to have the benefit of wisdom and knowledge that Brother Craig Walls is sharing with us. The subject matter tonight, insurance cartels and human tragedy. What makes it a human tragedy, Craig?
So the human tragedy for us was the fact that we are a friendly society, and we've literally have to become a law firm, meaning that we have been litigating for the past 12 years. It has been exhausting. And we've gotten some help, but we had to avoid pure litigation and excessive representation because their objective was to bankrupt us with legal fees. And we didn't chase that rabbit. So we've been doing what we can to get to this point. So AI, you guys call it artificial intelligence. We call it augmented intelligence, because what we have learned, we're able to communicate with the AI to improve what we already know. So it's been really helpful to us. So we were utilizing the laws that protect us. So we actually began with these pieces of legislation run through our experience like a thread. So it becomes the Emancipation Act 1834, the Friendly Society Act 1868, the Motor Car Insurance Act 1943, the Bermuda Constitution Order 1968, and the Insurance Act 1978. All of those pieces of legislation have helped us to survive.
Well, you've really put forward a creditable defense thus far against the government.
We have, and the courts have been kind to us in that they have not said that we are defeated. They have tried to direct us towards some of that expensive litigation, and we've said no, so we haven't been able to finish the deal. So AI is helping us to finish
you said,
it.
and I want to go there because, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I had on the show Dr. Calvin Lawrence.
Okay.
All right. A pioneer in AI.
Okay.
Right. African American brother, first of his kind. And actually, he even cited, you talked about using AI to assist you in this here. He spoke about knowing Bermuda. Yeah, he spoke about knowing Bermuda, having, of course, the insurance capital of the world, and how much AI can be instrumental in bringing resolution to some of Bermuda's woes around, insurance, risk capital, all of that. And the fact that Bentley Mutual is doing so, there's credit that you've used AI really to assist in defending or putting forward a stronger case. But I wanna read just for the benefit of the listening audience, because you shared, for example, where was it to? We were talking about earlier, you talked about monopolies, about how Bermuda lacks authority to deal with this movement towards monopoly. Marketplace, for example, you cited. And then the movement towards monopoly exists because there's a concentration of economic power in a few hands. And when we think in terms of that economic power, and even the merger of an All Shores, who has really, when I look at them, they too represent a monopoly with this merger on the insurance industry, and of course what they have created with Phoenix. Now, right now, we do know that the Caesar's pharmacies and the folk have been petitioning, and maybe those of you out there have some latest insight. So I want you to, at the top of the hour, if you have some of that insight, please share with us. And remember, when we do this, we don't want long dissertation defense on it. Share with us what you know, because I know there is a petition movement that was out there. And so what is the status of this Well, Old Shores is all happening right now. So, Craig, I mean, clearly.
So, Brother Lou, I heard you talk about capital.
Yeah.
So the other benefit of Bentley, again, is capital. Everyone needs capital. So Caesars, they had to put money up. That's their capital. Robertsons had to put up capital. Peoples, they all had to put up capital. The success of their businesses is a return on their capital. So with Bentley, what we're trying to do is say, look, this is the risk that we have. Every time we don't have an insurance loss, our capital grows. So that's why we're able to help people. So capital is part of capitalism.
Yeah.
Who has the money? Who has control? If there is systemic harm to our community, meaning people excluding us from the economic process in the community, then they can keep capital out of our community. We're trying to keep capital in our community. Capital does give you power, but it also helps you to help yourself. And that's very important. So Bermuda's able to attract capital because the capital's saying, hey, ACE did well, XL did well, AIG did well. They all did well in Bermuda. So even with the establishment of the corporate income tax, it has to be done with a scalpel. Meaning that it has to be very delicate because companies are always looking at what is my total return on capital. Can I get a better return in Bermuda or somewhere else? And capital is important because investors will not put up capital if they're not going to get a return on that capital. But it still has to be humane. We can't exploit people for the sake of exploitation.
As a regulatory body that the BMA is, what is their role in your circumstances? Because they certainly play a role of regulation, regulatory oversight with Old Shores.
So the Bermuda legislature determined that Section 57(1)A of the Insurance Act 1978, Bentley would not be excessively regulated by the Bermuda Monetary Authority. Now, the caveat to that is Bermuda is a liquidity insurance regime. So the Bermuda Monetary Authority does not overregulate anyone. What the Bermuda Monetary Authority has is what's called prudential regulation, meaning that they primarily require companies to know more and more and more about themselves, that they're not operating sloppy, meaning that they understand where their risks are, right? What their returns are, that they're documenting their policies and procedures, that they are creating what's called shocks to their business, and then they know what the impact would be on their business if they had a shock. So the purpose of the BMA really is to protect the reputation of Bermuda. Like there was a story in the paper a couple of days ago where a director must have misinformed the BMA about the condition of a company. So what Bermuda's trying to do is weed out people like that. They want people that have good reputations, that are going to represent the island well, because our regime is very friendly to people, so they don't want people coming here that are going to exploit it and embarrass the country. So historically, insurers have not failed in Bermuda if they operate prudently. So if you price your insurance properly, and also Bermuda has what's called a symbiotic relationship with its insureds, meaning that earlier I was telling Brother Lou that companies like Boeing and Ford and General Motors, Procter & Gamble, all of the big companies, U.S. in particular, are here. but they need Bermuda as well. That is where the symbiotic relationships come from, meaning that they want the companies like Ace and Excel to survive, because when and if they have a claim, they want somebody who's there that has capital that can pay those claims. So that's where the symbiotic relationship comes from. Everyone tries to operate in a manner that is fair to both sides.
Okay.
So no one's taking excessive risk because I have insurance. No, you have to be prudent. You don't want to wipe out the insurance company, because now capital won't take risk if the risk of losing all of that capital exists. No one's going to do that.
I got to read this. I was reading something, and I was researching something, came across this, and this is bringing up the monopolies too in the context of what you shared. And it was saying, while some observers and customers in Bermuda have raised concern about a monopoly, and that's this latest agreement, in terms of Argus, BF&M, and of course the Phoenix
stores, yes.
Phoenix stores.
Sure.
In the context of rising costs and fewer choices, and you was talking about choices earlier, the importance.
Yes.
A situation sometimes termed as market consolidation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This refers to a high level of market dominance, not an illegal conspiracy or cartel. Now, I'm going to and I read this here and doing my research and seeing this here, and even in response to what I was searching, and I was saying, okay, and I had established earlier that of course, Old Shores, BF&M, Argus, no, it's not a cartel, it's legitimate, yeah. At the same time, and there's no evidence measure of price fixing and so forth, but again, I wrestle with the fact that you have monopoly. And even if I take it out of the insurance market, we talk about the marketplace, yes. Monopoly. Everybody in Bermuda knows about Belco.
Yes, and before Belco was Telco.
And Telco, those monopolies.
Yes.
And the issue around, cost.
Yes.
I wouldn't say price fixing. At
the
same time, but it is.
It's fixed.
And that's what I'm saying. If you have a monopoly,
you're going to control
anything,
prices.
You're going to control prices.
So
there is price fixing with the monopoly.
That's right. They're going to lie. They're going to tell you, no, this is how you want it. No, you don't. You want a competitive market because you're going to get innovation.
So any monopoly created,
it's not good for the consumer. No, it never is.
And therefore, I'll go to the Caesars, Peoples. They have every right in terms of their alliance to challenge, to contest.
Absolutely, they do.
This monopoly.
Yes, they do. They do. And they should. But they need some
here's a
policy
Phoenix
help.
Who is Phoenix is merging with.
All Shores?
All Shores.
Yeah, you could say that.
Isn't it?
Yeah, you could say that. It's mutually beneficial.
That's all I'm saying.
It's mutually beneficial.
Who's to tell us that there's no price fixing?
Now, okay, so let's go back to capital, for example.
There you go. Go ahead.
Because All Shores has huge amounts of capital, they could help Phoenix stores to finance the importation of drugs. That's where relationships...
Serious drug dealing going on there, but go ahead.
Yes. That's where relationships become beneficial. Now, say a smaller independent drug store may not have that relationship with All Shores. They will not have access to that capital. So our community is always argued about lack of access to capital. Credit is very, very important to businesses to help them get started. Credit's important to mortgagors. So with Bentley, we've had some banks that will not allow us to insure mortgaged property. We are litigating against that. We're saying that we've actually been insuring mortgaged property for over 10 years with a specific bank. So that becomes precedent. It demonstrates our ability to do that.
Right.
And there is a legal concept called estoppel, meaning that once you demonstrate that you have the ability to provide a service, a company just can't arbitrarily tell you that you can't do that anymore. So that is a legal principle, but unfortunately for us, we have to have the courts to enforce these concepts on our behalf, and it takes litigation. So we're litigating in order to protect our rights, because this is the only way for us to acquire and accumulate the capital that we need to help our people acquire credit.
Right.
Credit is very critical.
And I want to bring this up. I mean, All Shores is a legitimate entity. It's offering a wide range of insurance, pension, and investment services, right? And holding high financial strength ratings.
Yes.
Bentley Mutual, Bentley Mutual, aspiration, rebranding, can become, again, we were talking about earlier, just as XL, Ace were once mutual, Bentley is a mutual. But the distinguishing difference, and help me again on this clarification, with Bentley, if you were not even a rebranding, part of your branding, again, is for your membership to be beneficiaries of the growth of.
That's correct.
Yeah?
Yes. So what we do again is
Bentley.
we copy success, meaning that we learned about the success of Ace and XL, actually how they did what they did, and we copy that success. So learning about the Bermuda regime and how it works, the safest way to succeed is to copy success. We're not a person that went out and tried something that was totally new. We said we're copying what they did to perfection, and that's what we did. And that's the basis of our success. So can we grow into that? Yes, we were growing, but we are running into unfair competition, if you will. Companies that don't want to have a freely competitive market. Companies that want to create innuendo and fear tactics to scare people.
So Bentley Mutual Insurance, right?
Yes.
I'm thinking of Bermuda Stock Exchange. Because Bentley is on the Bermuda Stock. Sorry. All Shores is on Bermuda Stock Exchange.
That's correct.
And there was just in when was it? March 26, not too long ago. People reported. All Shores saw 4,300 shares on the Bermuda Stock Exchange closed at $23. And I read that, and I looked through it and I said, damn, Bentley, your membership, you're not on the stock exchange, but let's just say hypothetically.
Is it possible?
The possibility of it.
Absolutely. So,
right? Let me just say, I'm bringing this up to speak to growing the membership and the greater possibilities of a Bentley. Let me be. Just indulge me a little here.
Sure.
I'm going to take out of the Bermuda Industrial Union. Okay. Imagine.
Yes.
Its membership. Yeah. Bentley Mutual. Next door credit union. Triangulate this thing. Yeah.
Yes.
And you triangulate this thing that says, hey, let us consolidate where we begin to see our greater worth. And I'm just saying, just imagine of that partnership, of that network, that membership, where the Bentley Mutual Insurance, Bermuda Industrial Union, Credit Union, closed at $23 a share with its membership and the greater possibilities on that exchange market and growing.
Brother Lou's starting to sound like an old man with a vision.
It is a vision, it is.
It is true, but let's go back to BSX, right?
Go ahead.
So the stock exchange, the purpose of a stock exchange is to raise capital.
Yeah.
The other purpose of the stock exchange is to give its members liquidity.
Yes.
So understanding these things, right, is very important with regard to capital. So you need capital first. Somewhere in order to benefit from structures like this. So it is important. So now what happens is, as the value of these companies increase, people are able to say, look, that stock one day was $20, but now because the value of that company is so much more, because of their profits and so on, I'll pay you a higher amount for it. And that
$23 this year.
Yes, that rewards people who took a risk, if you will, and invested their capital in there. So capital markets have importance. That's where really I started as a teenager, studying about stock market.
Right.
And wasn't until after I graduated from university and came back to Bermuda that I learned about insurance and its benefits. And I like insurance because it's less volatile than capital markets.
Okay.
So we've had a lot of success with the Bermuda Stock Exchange owning shares in companies like Bank of Bermuda, Balco, Bank of Butterfield. We didn't ride Bank of Butterfield down, but we knew there was something wrong with it. And one of the things about Bank of Butterfield was a lot of people did lose a lot of money in Bank of Butterfield, but capitalists have to be prepared to take risks. You can't have capitalism without putting up capital. So the exchange is there. I don't know if there are any companies listed that are from our community, but it is aspirational. We cannot get listed if we're not keeping capital in our own community. So from an aspirational standpoint, Bentley is capable of actually buying shares in these companies now until we transition to giving our members liquidity. So right now we do pay dividend to we've paid dividends to all of our members because we think it's important that people benefit from the insurance coverage that they've had if they don't have losses. And yes.
And callers, we're ready for you when you're ready. But I have to read this, and this is a CARICOM, Cooperation in Health Connection, right? I have to read this. I searched for this document. Caribbean Corporation in Health Phase, and they were talking about the Caribbean Corporation in Health provides a framework for CARICOM members to efficiently and effectively address common health and development challenges through functional cooperation and joint action. The intention is to build the capacity of member states to improve the conditions for health for all by developing and maintaining cost-effective and efficient health systems. I read that and listen to that, juxtaposed with what we were just talking about. Okay, that's on a grander scale of the 15 member states of CARICOM.
Yes.
The greater possibility of a Bentley, please hold caller, the greater possibility of a Bentley in terms of its membership consolidating on this line. I'm not saying that you need to go to the stock exchange, but I use that as an example, saying our greater worth and value of a collective consciousness to acquire and build the capital we want comes from what we put into our institution.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So what we've done, Brother Lou, is we've taken away some of the risk, meaning that we're building our company based upon an expense that you already have. So the capitalism part, what's different is you'd actually have to take $100 out of your pocket and put it in the Bermuda Stock Exchange. That's pure risk.
Right.
What we're saying is you have insurance expense. Put your insurance expense with us. If a loss doesn't occur, our capital grows because you didn't have a loss. So that's the difference in what we're doing. No one had to invest money in Bentley for us to grow the way we've grown.
Got you. Caller, I appreciate your patience. Welcome. You on All Fronts. Caller. Sorry, say it again, caller. Start on.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah.
Dr. Lou.
Good evening.
Good
Yeah.
evening, Mr. Walls.
Yes.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly. Yes.
Okay, I just want to give Mr. Walls credit with Bentley Mutual Insurance.
Yes, sir.
I am a policy holder.
Yes, sir.
I've been there, I think, over 3 years.
That's who we want to hear from. Those of you who are doing it. Go ahead.
Listen to me. And I took a chance. I liked what he said. And I think Mr. Walls knows his calling. But anyway, I was surprised when I got my little dividend check. Not dividend, the dividend check. And for 2 years. And I was really taken back. And I encourage people, especially us black people,
Yes, sir.
to support your brother.
Yeah.
Now, I had a claim. I had a power surge. Just here recently, we had some bad weather about, maybe 6 months ago. And we
Right.
had back-to-back bad weather. I had a power surge, and I had to. I got some fridge, couple of water heaters, and a microwave. Not microwave, but oven.
Right.
I went to Mr. Walls, and I said, "Look, this is what is it. I'll bring me the invoice." And guess what? Now, what's the word you use when you have an insurance, and then you have to pay the insurance the first amount of money if it's
Deductible.
if you got a claim. If it's
Your
claim they use
deductibles.
for it. Deductible. I said, Mr. Walls, is it deductible? No. I got my check one time. I went and bought the stuff. So I tell everybody that I know, you should try them on.
Yeah.
Don't believe me. Try them on. And I'm glad I got in. And I'm telling you, now, I'd like to know why this government, this present government, won't give him, the finance minister, the power to insure vehicles. You know, and he insures houses. And I'm a living example.
Right.
So I'm telling you on the air right now, right? People, go ahead. and the other insurance companies, I've been there 20, 30 years. They never
Longer than
give you
that.
a dividend check.
Longer than that. You
That's
got to go
right.
back
Let
to
me
the
tell you- let me
beginning of
tell
the
you,
automobile in Bermuda.
Hang on, Dr. Lou. I never had a claim on this house that I inherited. I added on. And guess what? I'd like to know, I don't know if he does boats, but why he can't get, and when the previous government was in, they turned around, made a phone call, and canceled him. You know, so I'm a living proof why he can't get motor vehicle insurance. It's monopoly.
Yeah.
They don't want to see. I want to come right and say they don't want to see a black man have an insurance company in this country. I might as well come on and say it just like it is. And why he can't have it successful so far? Why he can't insure vehicles?
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you sharing that, caller.
Yeah, and I'm a living proof.
I
And
appreciate you sharing that.
Bermuda.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Support your brother, and like you said, Mr. Dr. Lou, with the BIU, you got the Amalgamated Union of Teachers and all the insurance and clubs. Right, and let his business grow, just like the People's Pharmacy grew.
Right.
Why not?
So as a
know,
mutual,
too
you're
much-
also a
it's too much.
shareholder, sir.
Huh?
As a mutual, you're also a shareholder, sir. That's why you get
Yeah,
dividends.
Thank you very much. You know, and it's too much of these big companies. And guess what, Dr. Lou? Let me finish with this. There's some of these big cash cows in Bermuda. Everybody thinks it's the banks. It's not the banks. It's insurance companies.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
We shouldn't be paying-
we are the
listen,
insurance
listen.
capital.
That's right. Listen, we shouldn't be paying all this a mortgage to get your body insured. When you got these reinsurance companies and you got these other old shoe and the rest of them, and they can go overseas and buy companies, but they can't reduce the cost of insurance in this country.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep pressing, Dr. Mr. Walls, and the finance minister needs to do what it's got to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, such a deserved endorsement, without a doubt, where proof is in the pudding,
Yes.
as we say.
See.
And again, in listening to the gentleman share his story and his narrative, and if there are any others out there with comparable types of stories to share, please do. Why? Because, you know, it's interesting for black people in Bermuda. And I say it all the time, and I'm not just the only one to say it. Brother Corey on his show, Brother Glenn, you know, we Magic 102.7. This is a talk show, radio capital radio station in Bermuda.
Freedom.
We are bringing the issues openly to Bermuda's people. Okay, and what stands out for me in this here is the greater potential of our collective worth and value. And I say it all the time. There's no one coming to save you, Black Bermuda.
That's what we say too.
No one's coming to save you.
That's right. That's right.
Get past, and that's why I appreciate that caller. Please hold, caller. That's why I appreciate the courage of the caller to share his experience, because it warrants more of us making that type or change and investing in.
Yes.
And he has in his own testimony, no, I have collected my dividends, people.
That's right.
Yeah. I have collected my dividends. When I listen to that, in an aging population that Bermuda is, I hear in that, and I saw in there that you know, rest homes is also.
Yes.
And of course, rest homes have who? Well, they don't have teenagers. You know, they don't have midlife people unless someone is there with a stroke of some kind, right? They're elders.
Yes.
They are elders.
Yes.
And an investment in this rest home means also an investment, I'm just saying hypothetically, in those people. If they reinvest,
Yep.
imagine they collecting dividend, the greater possibility. Am I at least onto something?
You're onto something.
Okay,
yeah,
that's all.
we've helped them.
You're educating me.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, we've helped ourselves.
Yeah, you're educating me on something, and I
we
see
ensure
these.
something.
I see these possibilities for us, but it will not happen without the collective will.
That's right.
Go ahead, Cole. I appreciate your patience.
Yeah, thanks, Lou. It's Rolf Commission. Mr.
Yes,
Wolf.
Mr. Rolf Commission.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I just want to say that I admire your persistence and courage and will to deliver a series of products that can only bring great benefit for our people in Bermuda. And I feel a little maybe embarrassed somewhat and know that I probably haven't made enough contribution to assist your cause myself. But there's a lot of work to be done. So let's start here very quickly. Only about a year.
And let me just preface this by saying, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ralph Commission. I do give Ralph Commission some liberties more than most because he's also a political analyst, a socio-cultural political analyst, right? As a student of the late Dr. Eva Hudson, and I am upholding her principle and ethic by allowing some liberties to Mr. Rolf Commission. Commission, you have about 7 minutes. Go ahead. Tops.
Oh, thank you.
Tops.
And I appreciate your comment.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Rawls, only about a year, 6 months perhaps, the Fiscal Responsibility Panel, this may have been in 2022, its report. And about 6 months or a year before, it was announced that Argus and BF&M were entering into discussions on a possible merger. Now, this is against the backdrop at that time between 6,000 and 7,000 black Bermudians without health insurance. The Fiscal Responsibilities Report stated that Bermuda's economy is beginning to lack diversification and warned that any concentration of market power in the hands of companies that were merged to form monopolies or even duopolies needs to be judged very carefully in terms of Bermuda's economy. In other words, they were saying we shouldn't go in that direction. The economy's already losing diversification.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When they made that announcement, neither the Premier nor the Minister of Health, as far as I can remember, made any attempt to assure the public that they were going to look at this development seriously, that they would even consider, if necessary, introducing anti-monopoly legislation. So when Kim Wilson, the minister, no doubt working with the Premier, comes out after the merger took place, when it was too late, and suddenly gets strong, shows strength, misplaced in the context of what I just said, and starts talking about anti-monopoly legislation over the pharmaceuticals that you talked about earlier. Could not Bermuda have been served better by going in that direction right at the time when they announced they were going to enter into discussions of that merger? It leads me to believe that we're entering a very dangerous period here, as far as I can see, because there's such a thing as government capture or regulatory capture. Okay. And I think they've captured our government. I can give you some other examples, but I'll just stick to this.
Marketplace.
Thank you. And so we need to be very aware of what's going on here. Because, like I said, we're up to 7,300 black Bermudians without health insurance. And they've allowed this merger to take place. The object of the merger is what?
Profit.
Create greater efficiencies, greater profits for the shareholders. That's their priority. And I like the way you put that type of thing that I just stated, Mr. Waltz. Now, the other thing about the merger is it leads to a reduction in the amount of staff. Usually, they hired a Canadian to come down there, whose task was to basically help them achieve their objective. The two of the biggest departments that Argus and BF&M had, you would think the two would be made into one. But guess what? With those two big departments, and I forget the name of them, I think claims is one, and then you have the other one. You might want to help me on that one.
I just remember the claims, yeah.
Both of them, all of those departments have been consolidated, and they're going to be offshored to Toronto. That's where those departments are going. They're closing those departments down.
Well, you see, Brock's daughter's gone. She was with Argus. Now she's at Friesenberg and Meyer.
Yeah.
So, and for the ones that are going to be, for the departments that are going to remain here, those departments, I understand, they're going to experience major layoffs too.
Sure. Yeah, that's
so
what happened.
So this is what we've allowed. that our government has allowed. Yet they can come out and just smoke and mirrors over this thing around the pharmaceuticals. Don't get me wrong. That is not right. That should not have happened. But when it came down to really going for the big show, they ran the other way. Mm-hmm. Allowed David Brown, the chairman of Argus, Republic Camp, the whole idea about the merger. At a time when we don't need a merger in that part of our business community, our business sector, because of the current state of healthcare in Bermuda, and health insurance in particular.
Right.
Something's wrong. Something is wrong. Now,
you got three more minutes of your 7.
And and let me tell you, where the market, the government capture and regulatory capture, see, when you get to a point where you have oligarchy again in Bermuda, and what is the government's rule under oligarchy? Government for the rich, by the rich, of the rich. Their role is to be the gatekeepers on behalf of the oligarchy. That's what you're experiencing right now, Mr. Walsh.
Globally, by the way.
See.
Oh yeah, you have to tell me that. I mean, I'm talking.
I mean, the crisis of America's own health care is a great example of that right now.
We have places like Canada, free health care. Canada's GDP per capita is like I don't know, it's 25,000. No, it would be. I think it's a little higher than that. No, it's around 70,000 or something like that. 60. I think it's dropped over the last year. It's down to 60-something thousand. But with the GDP per capita is up to $138,900 and something dollars as per Moody's, and maybe it may have gone up even more now. And how could you have a country where you have free health care for everybody, well, as you would know, working in IB, right? Free health care as a benefit. But yet you have 7,300 black Bermudans without health care? Add around 2,000 whites, 2,400 whites, and you have close to 10,000 people without health insurance in Bermuda? In an aging population? And they said not a peep about this merger. When they had made a commitment to universal health care back in 2018. And the platform stated there was going to be significant structural changes to health care. Well, let me tell you right now, the healthcare system of Bermuda, if it's not yet broke, it soon will be. That's where we're at.
Well, I would say as we wrap it up, I mean, it is broke. It is broke when we look at the number of our people who are without health care, and given your analysis that you've given, that you're consistent with, and listening to Craig on this here, I mean, again, I beg the question. You're challenging the government. What is the government's responsibility in assuring in proper health care for an aging population? Yeah. In the highest cost of living globally.
Yes.
Maybe, well, some boast, some don't. The reality of that high cost, we see it daily in Bermuda, right, in terms of the diminishing standards of living in Bermuda.
And so, I mean, no, it's an erosion of Bermuda's traditionally black middle class, growth of poverty in the country, concentrated in Bermuda's black community. Come on, let's be honest about it.
Low income housing that, I mean, we can wait to see. We've had low income housing before. But what is being touted right now as modular homes up in the Bowes Island area, what they become 10 years from now is going to be determined by still the quality of life. I mean, no scare tactics, but it's reality in terms of what's being built is low income. We don't want these to become our trailer parks. Right. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what happens when it takes only a major crisis before action is undertaken in terms of having the right public policy. But if you go that route, as Mr. Walls, I'll get off the phone in a second. Mr. Walls can weigh in on that. I'd like to hear his views on this, because this is what we needed at this point. I mean, it's already overdeveloped. Overdeveloped. So what are we looking at? We needed a cemetery, the 5 or 6 story apartment complex on Cemetery Lane. We needed 3 or 4 of those for the 21st century. That would cater to mixed income in terms of the inhabitants in those units.
Right.
But that's what happens when it's like public policy made on the fly. But getting back to the main issue here, if you're not prepared to take on entrenched systems of power in this country, then nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
They're going to those who are already on the inside, those who can
Hence, I give credit to Bentley Mutual Insurance for taking on that power.
We need that. Look, it's gotten so bad now. You need those types of things to happen in various permutations.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Look at housing. So the minister, and let me say about the government capture. This one I forgot to say, and regulatory capture. It happens. They've captured both sides of the political aisle. Okay, you could take Jerry and Richardson and put him in there as premier of the country right now. Take David Pratt and make him the opposition leader, and there'll be no change because they've both been captured at the very highest levels.
Yeah.
Right. By Bermuda's business establishment, the David Browns of Bermuda, Ferguson, and what was BF&M, all Sewers, IB2. Don't think the IB is probably even a greater danger in terms of its dominance over and capture of Bermuda's government. As you said, Lou, that's in these financialized economies in the U.S. and UK and beyond.
Let me let Walls respond to one or two things shared, and I want to elaborate or pose a question. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for the time.
All right.
Yeah, health is it's a tricky area. It's difficult for us. I'm better suited with regard to property and liability. I do understand it. It'll continue to get very expensive. So for clarity with regards to the Canadian model, they have very high taxes in order to finance some of their social programs. So Bermudians will have to make decisions around what do they want to do. Our system is not it is a pure capitalist system. So we have to decide which one we want.
Yeah.
And people make those decisions based on how they vote. Because of the size of our population, we're better designed to have a pure capitalist system, but what we have to have is greater participation. That's what I'm for. I'm for inclusion and for letting people work together. For, yes, helping out our people, meaning that our design, there is sufficient amount of money to help people. You can't help people if you don't have money.
Right.
If all the money, all the profits are going in a funnel to a small select group, then there should be pressure on those people to help. Meaning some of the returns that we're seeing are they're way above the risk levels. There's got to be some balance between risk and reward.
Here's and I respect your position. In this scenario, I see universal health insurance in Bermuda, universal health care. And I put forward the argument that you take care of your most vulnerable, your children.
Yes.
And in an aging population, your elderly. In your scenario, I see in that's what generates the economy, that group.
Sure.
Who are part of that capital competitive insurance where universal health care, they're buying into it, for example.
See, Obama's model, right? If
Medicaid,
the model that Obama created was the ideal model, meaning that people start paying from a young age and they're building up capital.
Yeah.
And then at some point when they start needing that, it's going to pay them back. But there has to be savings. So our savings is the beauty of what we do is it's an expense that you already have.
I'm glad you brought that up. Let me use that. I was having this discussion. I mean, right now I am bearing witness to, man, I see people dropping in the office. In the office.
Stress.
Right? Stress. I've never, ever. This is my 17th year in the position I am in. And bearing witness to, wow, I have never seen the, I don't want to say the eradication, but certainly witnessing my staff dropping, man. Illnesses.
You are getting older, Lou.
Well, I'm getting older. But I'm bringing this into the scenario. In my 17 years, unless I'm using my insurance for, doing physical fitness.
Okay.
And let me be real. It's only really, I'm 67. It's only been in the last 5 years. It's only really been the five that I've used.
That's right.
Right?
That's about right.
And let me just be clear. Only because some pressure points.
Sure.
Because I feel fine.
Yes.
I think I look fine.
Yes.
But, I don't exaggerate it.
Right.
But I'm saying this here, help me to understand this in terms of insurance. I think in terms of I've saved money. I'm looking at what I haven't used over the years, and I'm saying, if I haven't used my insurance, for example, in my working life, why can't that carry over to the rest of my life if I've saved the government money? Help me to understand how that works, or why it doesn't work that way.
The way insurance works is the many pay for the few.
Yeah.
So now, yes, you've paid into the system, and that health care was taking care of somebody else. So one of the extreme examples we use is called the $1 million baby, right? So somebody has a child and it's a preemie, right? It's very expensive to bring that child up to where society would like for it to be. So a lot of money gets spent on our most sickly and our most vulnerable. So even though you're not using that money, it's being used. So that's where the many pay for the few. So we want you to be healthy, like exercise, eat right, because then you're not using the money. But not everybody's doing that. So
why can't that be incentivized, Craig, in terms of insurance?
Right.
Why can't that be incentivized? If you're talking about, my people, I want you take that sugar tax, for example. The
incentive, Lou, is higher prices for more dangerous activity. That's where the incentive is.
Right.
Meaning that if you're doing things that are like if you smoke, or if you're doing high risk activity, theoretically you're supposed to pay more for insurance because there's a higher risk of your behavior that the insurance company's going to have to pay out. So yeah, we are getting older now. We're probably being recommended, certain drugs and things like that.
Exactly.
That we didn't have to have before.
With side effects that will kill you even quicker. But go ahead.
We've done the best.
From the pharmaceutical company, by the way.
We've done the best we can to get this far. Bermuda's talking about the road accidents and stuff like that.
Yep.
Those things are very expensive. Those people, some of them, even if they're uninsured, we still have to have compassion and give them care.
Absolutely.
So the credit department at the hospital, they got to send out bills to these people and say, hey, we gave you care, you haven't paid, you're not insured. So there's still some level of responsibility. So we do have our premiums, like premiums have risen recently. So from an actuarial standpoint, it's like, do we have sufficient amount of money to actually pay the claims that are coming in? As we get older, as our population ages, no doubt, like Ralph said, the costs are going to rise.
Yeah.
Who's going to fund those? We do have a lot of money, but we got to strike a balance between, are we allowing these people to make sufficient returns on their capital and the demands that we're making on them? So where that becomes critical is innovation, meaning how are we allowing our economy to grow? We need to have innovative people that are going to come here with ideas, even people that are here that have ideas that are going to grow the economy. So what monopolists want is, I've arrived, no more competition, no more innovation, things freeze, let me make all the money that I can. That's not the ideal model. The model that you want is innovation. So even with AI is innovation. Right? It's going to lead to more innovation. And it's the people that know how to use it. So we've benefited from innovation. I love the historical aspect of business, meaning that you can look at horses and then cars and bikes and airplanes and ships, medication that we have, the fabrics, all of these things are innovation, communications. The internet, fiber optics as opposed to copper cable, all of those are innovations. We have to allow innovation in order for human beings to improve.
I was listening to John Hope, African-American brother, businessman, and he was given this scenario. That's also our reality. He was breaking some things down realistically for his audience in terms of projecting the future on the current statistics in America, right? Making the claim that when you look at in the United States right now, here's the fact: population getting older, and he's saying this collective consciousness to the black community, African American community. You would want to invest in real estate. You know, he's giving business acumen and knowledge, and you will want to invest. The reason why, you will want to look at the businesses that are there to be bought, because these are predominantly white businesses, right? And he says, because of the aging population, that demographic are aging and aging out and no longer want those businesses.
Yes.
That their children don't want.
Yes.
Those businesses are waiting to be purchased.
That's right.
Speaking to the collective will and consciousness of us.
You need capital.
You need capital, yeah? Using this as an example, and I think of it also in the context of Bermuda, right? Again, I keep going in terms of this collective worth. No one coming to save you, Black Bermuda.
Right. That's right.
Yep. You sit on fixed asset.
That's right.
Whether it's your club, your church.
That's right.
Fixed asset.
That's right.
Can serve your membership clubs that are nothing more than, I call them right now, they're holes in the, they're not developed too.
Some of them are broken down.
They're broken down.
That's right.
They're broken down.
Look at all.
But not. And I'll say this: not just our clubs. We can look at certain family properties across Bermuda, black family properties.
That's right.
Caught up in
dispute,
dilapidated, wasting away.
That's right.
By the way, you too are at risk of losing that property. Because of
longevity, even you're going to die. You're going
to die, and your children may not or are not ready to make claim. You understand?
Yes.
I think in terms of Bentley Mutual. I think in terms of that diversity that you spoke to, because this is the other salvation, really, for us, as it is for the American population right now. Please hold, caller. What John Hope was saying, we have to begin to focus on the diversity of us. The diversity of us. And that's that innovation that you're talking about, their creativity. A lot of our solutions, I mean, many of the elders even say it, we don't maximize our own people's genius to bring resolution to, with or without AI, to many of our problems that we see on this island. And that diversity, that DEI that we slave for in many of the so-called corporations who don't honor and obey it themselves, it's cosmetic. But we would want to look at our diversity as a Bentley Mutual is proposing to do, or is doing.
We're doing.
Yeah. Thank you, caller. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Mr. And the gentleman that you're talking to, Mr.
Walls.
What is his name?
Walls.
Craig Walls.
Okay, you brought up something that I'm going to address. Now, my organization...
You got 4 minutes.
That's all right.
1 o'clock.
Listen to me. It's grassroots.
Yeah.
My organization addresses, particularly from one government.
Right.
What is a party politics? It's going to be eradicated.
Right.
You can't have black people representing black people and on the other side. So, and then we're getting rid of this racist speed limit. The speed limit, this is why you have accidents in Bermuda. It causes anarchy and chaos on our roads.
Right.
Bermuda's go at a particular speed. So you're getting rid of that now.
Right.
You got one family running 4 gas stations. That is capital once it comes under one government.
Right.
The money is
Which gas station are you referencing?
You're talking about Port Royal, the Medeiros family?
Oh, okay.
All these
Medeiros or
4
Terceras?
gas stations.
Terceras or Medeiros?
Medeiros.
You said, okay.
Must be.
Okay, the point is you got one family running 4 gas stations in Bermuda.
All right.
Under one government, they're going to have to. And then you got a government official. It's called conflict of interest. You can't be a government official and running a construction company and building got your people out there building Southampton Princess. That's conflict of interest.
Is it?
So what I'm trying to say, under one government, everybody's in the place.
Okay, because I want you to make your point, because I want our guests to respond to it. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask him what's that got to do with international business.
Okay.
So Dr. Lee, we want to come together as a people, grassroots, getting rid of this monopolies that when under one government, the gas, just like the gas stations,
right,
considered under one government. So under one government, not by single families, and they're making all the money. So
right.
That capital will go to what? Where it goes to the people, black and white Bermuda.
All right.
This is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, let me. I want Mr. Walls to respond to because you're bringing up the issue of monopoly again, and he was addressing that earlier. And I wanted to elaborate on it in the context of your argument.
Yes, but you can't be supporting a racist speed limit. Blacks do not go 20 miles per hour.
Got you.
Why can't we address that?
All right, let me have Mr. Walls respond. The issue of monopoly again. I mean, look, very much a part of Bermuda's economic DNA.
Yes.
Yeah. That's Bermuda's history. Bermuda's, when you look at even the formulation of Bermuda companies in Bermuda, those are monopolies.
Yeah, so monopoly defined, one company controls the market, the company seeking profit maximization for its shareholders. There's no real competition. Consumers have no alternatives. So the claimed pros to it is efficiency at scale. They can provide consistent service. The cons are higher prices, government regulation, less innovation, and potential abuse of power. So the abuse of power really becomes the operative word, because with human nature, you're going to abuse power.
Yeah.
You're going to seek your profit.
We're watching it live.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, 10 o'clock, you hear a lot of it tonight.
You're going to seek your profit maximization. So again, I'm a capitalist. I believe in capitalism, but I believe that in order to participate in capitalism, you have to have some capital.
Right.
So initially, it starts with work, savings, and then smart investment. So creating Bentley for me is another form of smart investment, meaning bringing people together collectively like a corporation. I believe in corporate structure, so corp comes from body. The body works together. We have diverse people. We have people that see benefits that are possible, and they join us.
But isn't that also, Craig? I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I also see in what you have created. I'm not saying it's a cooperative, but with your mutual membership,
it is. I get help from people.
There's a cooperative economic principle to what you are developing.
That's correct.
In your capitalism.
Yes.
So,
but ours is not risk capital. Ours is an expense that you already have. It's simplistic, and it's also.
Is it a shared capital? Is it a stakeholder capital?
It only becomes capital after the expiration of the policy period. Does that make sense? So if, for example, you're insuring your car and you don't have a collision or a claim, right? Now that expense becomes our collective capital. But I've not asked you to invest capital because from my observation, it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary for me to go out and ask for our members to put up risk capital.
So I equate this with what you're saying with my health care. Here it is.
Health is complicated.
As complicated as it is. As complicated as it is. Lou has gone 17 years, let's just say hypothetically.
Claims.
Hold on. No claims. No claims. None.
$1 million baby though, Lou. I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on. I'm $1 million baby.
You're not.
So hold on. I'm reinvest. I've saved you. Here it is now. I'm just giving hypothetical.
I know.
Right? This is innovation, creativity without AI. Throw it in AI, see what AI has to say about it, about that possibility that if you're moving your people toward proper health care, Brother Glenn does great show, in terms of dealing with healthy living on Fridays, I think, right? And, I forget who the guest is, but, these are all the proper things you do to lower your blood pressure naturally. You show growth in your health, improvement, all of that there. You can eradicate even type 2 diabetes with proper habits, right? Bermuda has a diabetes issue. Imagine in your, not you, because you're not, health is complex for you, but health is complex as it is. And in the scenario that I'm speaking to, in the capitalist nature to which you endorse,
yes,
it has in it also mutual cooperative economic.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
And so if Craig Walls has lived a healthy life and paid dividends into his own insurance policy that you said is being used when he's not using it, but at expiration, quote unquote, retirement, right? Wow. Why can't you bear the dividends of that for the rest of your life.
One of our policies is to do that. We're doing that with our members.
Please hold, caller.
And we believe that people should benefit from the expense.
I believe it too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe it too. Go ahead, caller. Appreciate your patience. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, brother. Brother Walls, thank you for coming on and, discussing what you're all about, trying to get this insurance going. I think it's a blessing that we do start working on this. With the BIU, of course, because, we have to grow this. This is very important to Bermuda. Just to listen to you and Brother Lou.
Thank you.
They're saying something about the licensing car, insurance in cars.
Yeah, which he's being denied.
What's the problem with that?
But the problem is with it, as we've discussed, is the monopoly of it.
Yes.
Oh, where's it coming from, though? I mean,
my understanding
you can go to my website, bmic1030@gmail.com. I'm sorry, www. That's my email address. Number 4, WALS.com. All of our information's up there. It is RICO. RICO is racketeering, influence, and cooperation. It's bad. It's bad.
So say it again. RICO, racketeering, influence,
and corrupt organization.
And we talking about insurance.
So this is people making phone calls saying to TCD, don't accept their policies, and they do it.
What?
That's right.
I
got documentation. We do everything in writing. That's how we survive. Nobody can't say, oh, Walls is lying. I can give you copies of what happened. It's what saved us in court.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. We have this corruption in writing. Okay?
How long have you been fighting this thing, bro?
12 years at this point. 12 years. I'm not mad at them. I'm a capitalist. If you can get away with it, but the courts are here to rectify injustices. So I understand their efforts. And we've been trying to be competent competitors.
There you have it.
Well, your Constitution, man, is being stripped, or trying to strip it. It's had to stop, 12 years.
12 years, yeah. We've been working it.
This is something that you have going to study for. You have sort of, just listening to you, you have going deep into what God has put you there for, right?
Yeah.
And for these type of people to come around and try to dismantle that, this is unreal. This got to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's complex, but it's also simple. I mean, they get away with what they can. And the people that were in place at the time, I feel more pity for them than anything else. But I do understand the challenges that people that came before us had to deal with. We think we got it rough. I have no idea what some people that came before us had. They couldn't even go to court. At least I can go to court.
Right.
I have word processors, and I have the internet, and I got scanners. I have tools to fight. They didn't have the tools that I have. So I appreciate that, right? But I also understand why they could not accomplish what we have accomplished.
Right.
And we're going to keep doing what we're doing because people are benefiting from what we're doing. And when we finance a business and they're hiring people that work for them, that makes us feel good. When we say we've helped a rest home with cash flow or with machinery, we've helped fishermen, we know we're creating employment for people, and that's the objective of our business.
There you have it.
It's not just for us.
Yeah, we'll connect with you, brother.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. Okay, brother. Thank you very much, brother.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
In the last 3 minutes, Brother Craig Walls, Bentley Mutual Insurance, I mean, this has been enlightening. Just elaborate on closing statements in terms of the constitutionality as this fight goes on.
Sure. So the Constitution, it is a learning document. Section 10 is where our protection comes from. There is power in people. You see it with the union, with where we're sitting.
Yeah.
That this building was created from people unified.
Yeah.
But different unions have different purposes, right? Meaning this is a labor union that created this. Our purpose is for capital purposes. A church can be a union. Your clubs are unions. They're for different purposes. Football teams are unions of people. Our union, again, I would say it's to ensure our people primarily. And if we don't have loss experience, then our capital grows. Now we're able to assist other organizations. I like giving away money, but you got to have money to give away.
When we think in terms of the fact, and I spoke to it earlier, you just addressed it as a club guy. I'm brought up in club. And I know the multi-million-dollar estate that clubs sit on. My
That's
club,
right.
Somerset Cricket Club.
That's right. Beautiful club.
Always history. St. George's is another example.
Beautiful.
These examples. And I think of... the merger, let me put it that way. I'm going to put it in that context. The merger, just like Argus and BFMR merger, Old Shores Development. And here are our clubs who have the business sense. And by the way, they too, capital,
Yes.
sit in this fixed estate, right? I can't even say it's run like a farm, because farms make money. But it's really, I know, other than outside of cop matches like a ghetto. I'm sorry, we're not profiting from our real
not
estate.
being utilized
It's
in
n-
this.
Okay, I'm being harsh. Deliberately.
I understand.
Deliberately.
Right.
Deliberately.
Yes.
I have to be. I'm not saying there isn't improvement or progress for change, but I'm 67. When I can speak from the experience of as being on management and as a member. I speak of my club as an example. I'm from Somerset. And I'm seeing prime real estate.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Minimal progress to me. Right? When I look at my institution that it is, from when I was 12 years old,
Wow.
right, to age 67. And I say, wow. And in the context of this that we're talking about, what our greater collective responsibility or opportunities can be with the mergers of us, Bentley Mutual, if you have I'm from the days of my club having 500 members,
Okay.
to
They got now?
under 100 members,
Really? Okay.
right?
Okay.
Or if you got about 120, is what you got.
Okay.
I'm using mine as an example. I can't talk about others,
Right.
although I know of others.
Yeah.
But I use these examples. These are great institutions of our black community who are shaping those communities. And I think in terms of the merger and the partnership with the Bentley Mutual or like-minded,
I write
Insurance.
to the clubs regularly. I reach out to them.
I know you do.
Yeah, you okay? Yep.
Yeah.
I send my mail to them and tell them what's possible, and I try to educate them because that's part of our process as
Yeah.
well. How can we inform you guys?
Prime real estate,
Yes.
which is what you insure.
So it comes from creativity. I see things as well, but the creativity still needs capital. There's people that come up with creative ideas, and what do they lack, Brother Lou? They don't have any capital.
Yeah.
Right? So who's going to put up that capital for you? It's a conundrum.
As the capitalist that you are, and then we'll sign off on this. As the capitalist that you are, There are venture capitalists out there, and I know
Check.
there are businesses here that acquire their capital from such venture capitalists.
That's true.
To do and build businesses in Bermuda.
That's true. Yes,
right?
they do.
Restaurants, all of the above.
Yes.
Folk ain't been here 6, 7 months, 8 months, and
That's
next
true.
thing you see,
They own.
and what you complaining for?
Yeah.
Black
I got
Bermudian?
mine.
Huh?
Yeah, I got
What you
mine.
complaining for?
Right.
That same possibility's there for you too.
Yeah. See.
And we have fixed assets that can multiply worth with business negotiations with persons like yourself at the table. I can name a few others to say that, hey, we got venture capitalists overseas that we work with.
So real quickly, Brother Lou, I think what people have to understand when they are starting businesses is ask yourself, is your business solving a problem?
Bottom line.
Because some people start businesses without asking themselves that question. They're going into business because they like something, but what I've learned is if your business is going to be successful, and this is a great way for us to sign off and help our people to preserve some capital,
got the
make
last
sure
word.
that your business is solving a problem, and you'll stick around.
And all I will say, you don't have to totally rely upon AI to solve that problem. It's a tool, but trust your creative, cooperative, collective consciousness to work with like-minded people like Bentley Mutual Insurance and other persons.
Thanks, Brother
to
Lou. I hope
multiply
we
the
helped
worth and
somebody
value.
today.
I hope we did. I hope we did. People, guess what? Next week, Minister Alexa Lightburn will be on all fronts.
That's power.
That's power. Yeah, there's a thing called the Reflective Power Index. We're going to engage in some reflective power index
See.
as it relates to CARICOM.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, of course, we build upon things on all fronts.
Thank you for the invite.
There you go. Anytime.
Okay.
Keep the peace, people. Be safe. Alexa, Honorable Minister Alexa Lightburn next week in studio. Stay tuned. Keep the peace. Be safe. You know how we do it. We don't fight on any one front. We fight on all fronts.
Bermuda Live on YouTube. Subscribe now.